Hello, internet friends. It seems like it's been a long time since I've said that, but it hasn't really been. Welcome to session 0 of season 2 of Call of Cthulhu here on Quests and Chaos. We are going to be playing Down Darker Trails, and I'm so excited to be joined by Thomas and Amy on the same screen there. Nick is back playing, Tiana's playing, Julie's back. We are very excited to get this game going. It's going to be the old way. Did we get a new color? We need to get like our own color. Maybe, I don't know what color we should have.
Is there like a yellow? Maybe a yellow to kind of have that wood look.
Oh yeah, yellow could be good.
Oh, you mean the background?
Yeah. We don't need to, I'm joking. We totally don't need to.
No, do it.
Dance monkeys.
There you go. There you go.
That's not bad.
Some good dancing.
Wow, I should ask for more things. I need all the green M&Ms. So we're going to do this in 2 different parts tonight. The first part is just going to be character creation, where we're going to walk you through how to make a Call of Cthulhu character for Down Darker Trails. And then the second part, we're going to do a more traditional session 0, where we're going to talk about the themes of the game, what kind of table we want, connect the characters, that sort of thing. So very quickly, a couple quick announcements because we can't go without it. Birds of Paradise, our official dice. We love the Birds of Paradise. Wow, look at that. That is a lot of Birds of Paradise.
That is what my dice tray is going to look like whenever the Kickstarter comes through.
Yeah, there you go.
Just dump them all in there.
That is our official dice, and they will roll well for all of you. Nord Games, if you have last minute Christmas shopping to do, you could do worse than Birds of Paradise and Nord Games. Get yourself some nice gaming material to connect all that in there. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas, but I think most of our shows are now going to be off for the holidays.
Except for Dragon of Icespire Peak.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Dragon of Icespire Peak will be next Monday. There will be one more show, and there may be another show after the holidays, before the new year.
Thanks for clarifying that.
That was super specific.
It might or may not happen.
It may or may not. Schrodinger's RPG may or may not be happening in the first week of January. So all of our shows except Dragon of Icespire Peak are now going to be off until the new year. There'll be one more Dragon of Icespire Peak next week, and then apparently, maybe if the players really mess things up, there will be another one.
Actually, we believe that we are going to have a New Year's Eve day all-day pandemic stream.
Oh, nice.
For a second, all-day pandemic. I was like, yeah, that's possible.
Well, I mean, in the last couple weeks.
We've had an all-year pandemic. Well, all day is nothing.
Yeah, that's right. So, check that fine show out. Watch all our stuff on YouTube. If you're sitting around at home over the holidays, not much to do, dive into Natural One from the start. Go back and watch that whole story. We've got 60 something episodes of Quests and Cthulhu to watch. Go back and watch. Look for that exciting moment when Emma's spirit finally broke and she just started burning things. You can find the exact moment if you go back and watch. It's
episode 14.
No, it's around the point where she picked a fight between porters, taking us to the hotel, where she was just like, he said something terrible about your mom.
I miss Emma's mom. That was one of my favorite characters.
Nice.
So enjoy our back catalog of full stuff. Actually, what I might go rewatch is Betrayal Legacy, House on the Hill. That was a fun game. I enjoyed that, even though I totally screwed the pooch in the final episode. I was a terrible final villain.
Yes.
I'm no Sephiroth, apparently. Hey everybody, good to see you, and let's make some characters. So a few things just from the beginning. We are going to be using the quickfire character creation. This is a way to get your characters up on their feet pretty quickly. It's also a way, frankly, to keep these poor people from having to do math on stream. If you if you do the normal character creation, most of your skill points are going to be based on, you get 4 times your education and skill points. And there's a lot of like, I'm going to put 37 points here. And it can lead to a more protracted character creation. So the quickfire allows you to get your characters up on their feet, get the numbers out of the way, because as always, numbers are the least interesting part of this, and it's getting to the characters and watching the mess that they make of everything there. So, oh my gosh, we do have bits.
I told you.
That's 500 bits from Tamago Tora.
Yeah.
To make us do math.
To me.
Wait, if we were... Okay, never mind.
So, by the way, I have been told that hopefully by the launch of our show, there will be an abacus.
Yeah. Let's hope if UPS can get it together.
Oh, everyone is so overwhelmed this year. Even FedEx. I hear about it all the time from Andrea.
So there's a chance that the next episode we do bits on, they will be counted somehow on an abacus. We have no idea. We have no idea if they will be properly counted on an abacus. But
nope.
I'm very excited to. I feel like like what was it? The Secret. I think I feel like I spoke that and I manifested it. I let the universe manifest my desire. So all right, character creation. We have already had some discussions about sort of our character ideas and that sort of thing, and so people have a general gist of what they want to do. And so since I've talked a lot and I'd love to drink some water, I'm going to ask each of you to just give me the one sentence, like this is my character, 10,000-foot view. So Nick, give me your
10,000 foot. What? Sorry, just like the super highest overview.
Yeah, one sentence. Just sum your character up in a sentence.
What is it? Good for nothing, get quick rich schemer.
There we go. Perfect. Julie.
A retired gunslinger blacksmith who wants to keep her town safe.
There we go. All right. Tiana.
A current federal marshal who is more comfortable on the back of a horse than dealing with people.
I love it. Thomas, it's been a while since I've gotten to hear one of what is Dave? Tell me about Dave.
Well, Elias, he is a journalist, and he's out here looking for the truth.
I like it.
Is he the ancestor of Jackson Elias?
Maybe.
Most people don't realize that Elias is Hebrew for Dave. Amy.
A dilettante trying to prove himself to his father.
Nice. That is awesome.
Air quotes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So from a GMing standpoint, I want to point out one thing there, and that is that when you ask your players to distill their characters down to that one sentence, you already find things in there that you can use in the game. That sentence that Amy just gave is a perfect example of how you can take a character's background and just already see the ideas that can come in there. She's already given you something to play with, so now make sure it shows up and make sure that that becomes important. So now they've got those frameworks, and now in the quick start, instead of rolling for stats, you're going to allocate. So you have one stat at 40, 3 stats at 50, 2 at 60, 1 at 70, and 1 at 80. So you can put those in any of the stats that you want, slide them around. You may notice that some people are better at pretending like they haven't already filled out their character sheets than others.
I'm not even bothering.
I don't know where I actually don't know what I'm going to allocate. I think, no, I don't know. I'm open to suggestions.
Well, so this is something else. When you're at the table, it's good, especially around stats, it's less important. But when it comes to skills, it's good to like see who's covering what.
Right.
You know, and to be like, okay, I'm going to let you put a high skill in that so I can put a high skill somewhere else to cover stuff. This might be the first game with you people where somebody actually has psychology.
No.
Are we forgetting about Hollister?
Yeah.
Hollister did not really know.
He had psychotherapy, which was a different
psychoanalysis.
Yeah,
not psychology.
So I have a
this-
quick question. Is because we get so many 50s, is that kind of the average, or is that 60 is more like the average? Like
60, well, no, because you
average?
at a 1 through 100, you're definitely, 50 is pretty much John Q average.
Okay.
So we got an 80, a 70, two 60s, two 50s,
350s.
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 350s and a 40.
A 40.
Where did I mess up?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We've only just begun.
Yeah. No, so for my character being a blacksmith, is a female blacksmith, but so I put a lot of mine, I put the big one in strength.
There you go.
I'm strength and I'm dexterous because I want to be able to make things. Where I put the lowest ones was in POW, because
Me too.
That will never come back and bite us in the ass.
Nope. But I figured, it's like, yeah, there you go. But so things like, I'm intelligence and my size, I'm 50. That's, seemed to be okay. It's not the lowest stat. But education, because I like to learn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, how I made the transition from being a gun person, gunslinger, to a blacksmith. I wanted to know how the gun worked. How did that thing work? How did it go? And then I went, oh, I can make this stuff. So that's kind of what my thinking was on that.
Sounds like some definite mechanical repair skill will be used there.
Oh yes. I've got mechanical repair is one of the skills that's in my list.
So there are, we'll talk about skills in a minute, but while you guys are doing a little math, there are some new skills that are new to Down Darker Trails. Gambling is one, rope use, and trap are all new skills that you can put points in. They all have very useful things. So the character sheet has different base levels as well. So some of the base levels of skills are different in this game than they were. And obviously there's things like no drive auto. There's there's ride horse, which is sort of that version. All right. So what do you got, Thomas?
So up on the screen, I actually just put the very top of the character sheet, the characteristics.
Yes.
Nice.
Cool.
That is very cool. Another thing you'll notice is that the hit point box is much larger, and that's because, much like Pulp Cthulhu, everybody's going to have their hit points doubled. So we can talk about your figured characteristics now. Hit points are going to be your con and your size divided by 5.
Mm.
That's normally it's divided by 10 in regular Call of Cthulhu. So divided by 5 doubles that. So for instance, if your con and size were both 50, you'd have 20 hit points.
Yeah. My con and size are my con is 50, my size is 60, so mine is 22.
There you go.
Me too.
Mine's the flip of yours. I got more con, less size.
So it's possible that somebody could have 41, because when I saw that, I was concerned. I was like, why is mine 11?
Wait, your hit points are 11?
No, they're 22
Oh,
because
all right.
I math well.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Where's that abacus when we need it?
So I'm using Amy's phone for a calculator.
Look, the abacus isn't here yet.
So just kind of like, because I think that I have chosen a different character than you guys. So I have an 80 in education.
Me too.
A 70 in intelligence.
Nope.
And then the rest are dump stats.
The rest are dump stats.
You sure?
Okay.
70 in intelligence.
Hey man, he's a bookworm.
Yeah.
I mean, and that makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
Is he coming from the East Coast, or did he grow up in the? Well, never mind.
Where did you go to school?
I have to.
I went to Harvard.
Oh. You should go to Yale just to like piss her off.
Yes.
Yale.
Going to a made up school would be better than be like, yeah, I went to Pemberton. It's an Ivy League.
When did Miskatonic start? Was Miskatonic around?
I went to Pembroke.
Don't know.
A meetup. You can certainly make up a school. That's
what is PCU?
Political
Portchester
PCU.
University. That's it. Yeah, Portchester.
So should I put my max hit points as 22 in that little box or that little
yes.
circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the where it says max hit points, you're going to put your max value there, and then as we play, you'll be connecting everything, and you'll notice in a little bit of graphic design there, when you get to 0 hit points, you'll see that major wound box. So in Pulp, as we're playing, when you get down to 0 hit points, you don't die. You take that major wound. Now, if you have a major wound and you take, I think it's something like your con divided by 10 damage, you do die. So major wounds are really bad, and they take some time. Oh, do you not have the Old West character sheet, Nick?
Oh, I do not.
Oh,
It's on the Chaosium website, and I'm actually using the one that cheats for me, sort of, because
yeah, they have an autofill one.
it's an
that's really
autofill.
nice.
I don't have to do math.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I've got.
Let me tell you, if you're making a Call of Cthulhu character at home, download the autofill character sheet, because Call of Cthulhu does a thing where it says, you know, you're that half and fifth of your skill, and it's really annoying to figure that out. The autofill character sheet does that for you auto-magically, which is lovely.
Auto-magically, I like that.
If you looked at my childhood dungeon master's guide, it is cracked open to the chart.
Yeah, the 2-hit chart.
The 2-hit chart, basically the THACO chart. It's just broken on that page. It's because that's all it was ever used.
Yeah, it's you know, it's nice to have the character sheet do all that for you. So yeah, your hit points are your con and your size divided by 5.
And Pulp, do they expect you to die twice as much?
So Pulp, one of the things in Pulp is you can spend luck to avoid things. And you're going to get a little more luck as you do it. But so, for instance, you take a wound that would kill you. You can choose to spend all your luck instead, and you miraculously are knocked down to 1 hit point. You don't die.
Well, we were able to do that last time, right?
I think so. That game became more and more Pulp as we went along. You can also spend luck depending on your Pulp talents that we'll get to in a little bit that can help you out with that. So luck is even more of a fixture in Pulp, but that also means that in Pulp there are more opportunities to gain luck. You don't gain as much sanity at the end of chapters. You gain more luck at the end of chapters.
Okay.
That's nice.
So we did
all right, so we did our stats. We did that. Now it's time for luck. And luck is 3d6 times 5. So go ahead and roll your 3d6 times 5. And
I'm going to use some of my birds of paradise that I got over here.
Ah, very nice.
And we can use that inspiration on this, right?
That's right. You've got 1 reroll.
This is fine.
Everything's fine.
I thought I had another. Oh, there it is. Okay. 3D6.
This brings back memories of old. So before 7th edition Call of Cthulhu, for some reason, the stats were 3 to 18. But then they had 3 figured stats: your knowledge roll, your idea roll, and some other roll that I'm blanking on. That was your stat times 5. And like, that was what everybody did. So in 7th edition, they just went, let's make it all percentiles and get rid of those rolls.
There you go.
All right. So 3D6 plus 5
Times 5.
times 5. And this is luck.
That is your luck. And you're going to put that in the little, you're going to circle whatever your luck is at.
Would it be a complete reroll, or could I have 1 dice rerolled?
What do you want? Half of the inspiration? Is it?
Or is it like roll 3, drop 1?
Yeah, right. It's like,
I rolled a
question. With the quick start rules, do we take into account age and all of those other sort of like stat variants that you do?
When you play Pulp, you don't have any age. There are no age modifiers.
oh, okay.
Good.
So you don't need to worry about the age stuff.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll take that out.
Yeah, because the quick roll was saying to apply the age.
It's true, but that was not. We're playing more pulp since we're using the pulp talents and stuff,
Oh.
and the double the hit points. Because the quickfire also has the hit points divided by 10.
Mm.
As Apollyon points out, no one lives long enough for age to become a factor.
Ah, okay, good. That makes more sense then. All right. Okay.
Your sanity, your base sanity is your POW.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Dump stat.
Take that.
Sanity is the ultimate dump stat.
Yep.
I'm fine.
I've seen things.
Oh man,
That's all I can
that's a
say.
great idea. Someone in the chat suggested that the Duchess is running a brothel.
Well,
Yes.
This
It's
is
called like the Briny Deep or something like
young,
that. Right?
a young Duchess. It's like the young Indiana Jones Chronicle.
She basically
Really?
looks like River Phoenix.
We're just
I mean,
telling the Duchess's story. We're not. You guys are like in the background of this.
For the side
There you
character.
go. There you go.
You guys are like in the background.
For the side
There you
character.
go. There you go.
No.
Who has their sound on?
Yep.
Weird.
That was
Is it off now? I
Yes.
think mine came on. I hit something on my keyboard. So
That ain't good.
we did our sanity. So now you've all kind of figured. Most of you have figured out your occupations, and occupations in the game set what are your base the skills that are most important to you. And so with these skills, you've got 8 different skills for your occupation, and you're going to allocate the following values among them. You get 1 at 80, 1 at 70,
Mhm.
2 at 60, 2 at 50, and 2 at 40.
Got it.
And so then you can apportion those out between those skills as you see fit. Roll for dysentery. That'll be my. No, we're not playing Warhammer.
We're also not playing the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, that's
Ooh, roll
We-
for cannibalism.
We played a Warhammer fantasy game where one character had like a suppurating wound for I think 6 sessions,
Oh,
and he was just
Lord.
like holding his guts in as.
as
So
one does.
Do we add this number to the
base. Yeah.
to the base?
Oh,
Yeah, to whatever
Wait,
the
wait.
base is there.
We add it to the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I thought it replaced the base.
Nope, you always get
Oh.
the base.
Oh,
Oh, wait, I want to correct myself. I just noticed ignore the skill base values.
Okay.
In the quickfire, you ignore the skill base values.
ah,
Okay.
Wait, what
Because
is
I
it?
was like, did I just get a 95 in ride?
that would have been awesome. I could do that.
Dead Boy, Warhammer is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is to make it to vastly overstate. It is England's D&D. It is Warhammer was in the 80s a miniatures combat system, and they started creating RPG systems around it. It is a low fantasy, grim dark world where there's very little magic and everything has a vomit attack, and it's all like the one of the guys. There's an awesome piece in one of the modules in fantasy roleplay. They give you a boat, and then shortly afterwards, the boat gets burnt, like gets destroyed. And somebody wrote a letter to Games Workshop, the makers of the game, and they're like, "How could you do that? That was so mean." And their response was, "Exactly."
was it really big, and that was the only thing on the paper?
Now you're catching on.
Yeah. This
So we
world
ignore
does
the
not
number
like
that's
you.
there, right? And just write in one of those values.
That's right. Ignore the base value thing. Just write in one of those numbers.
All right. So spot hidden at 80.
There you go.
Fast talk.
That's a dump skill.
Oh.
Thomas on the
Library.
fast track to sanity loss.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Like read books next?
Oh no.
Get one of-
80,
yeah.
70,
Nice.
60, 60,
Yeah. Okay.
50,
cool.
50.
Got it.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
I did.
One interesting aspect of playing in the Old West is that there's a lot less sort of opportunities for research. Libraries are a little harder to find out on the plains, out in the Wild West, but they still exist.
Well, let's say you were rifling through somebody's papers on their desk.
That would totally be, you could totally do that.
All right, so let's see.
This is so
Arts and
hard.
crafts, of course, that's going to be 80. I think the problem is his writing is going to be
well. So again,
You met Jackson Elias.
You're
Right.
Elias Jackson.
Whatever.
if you-
Whatever.
as long as you aren't trying to like run a horse fast as you can up a cliff, you know, you're probably not going to need to make many in a snowstorm. You're not going to need to make like hard writing rolls, but every once in a while.
Yeah.
I meant writing.
Yeah.
Oh, writing.
Writing, yes.
Oh.
Hard writing.
Yeah, I for story purposes and whatever, I'm gonna have fun with it. I have an 80 in my ride. That is the thing that she is the best at.
Well, you can show off. You can impress
I
people
totally intend to.
with your trick writing and stuff. When you meet the creepy circus, they will. That, by the way, so we talked about this a little bit while people are doing skills. I'll say, like, my idea for this campaign is that there's going to be overarching stuff that happens, but for the most part, it's going to be kind of almost monster of the week stuff. That was a beautiful I want to know more about that moment. That was somehow both creepy and affectionate. It was lovely. And so I have, you can't see it, but I have this little notebook where I've written like just prompts of things that might happen. And I'm 100% adding creepy circus.
Excellent.
Yes.
Is there any other kind? So
Go ahead.
I had a quick question. We skipped a couple things at the top of the sheet. Is there a reason for that?
It was boring.
Magic points and move rate. Are they reliant on something else that we need to do first in order to come back to those?
No, move rate. So move rate is, frankly, I ignore it because it is the least cinematic thing possible. So move rate is very simple. If both of your dexterity and strength are less than your size, your move is 7. If one is more than your size, you move at 8. And if both are more than your size, you move at 9.
Perfect. Got it.
But what does that mean since we don't usually play like that?
So if we were playing on a map, that would be how many squares you move.
Gotcha. I see why you ignore it.
Yeah, it is.
Not a lot of mapping.
It is very out of place, but you know, it also comes into play. There are all these chase rules and things like that that can come into play, but it frankly is not terribly cinematic. Then also damage bonus. So your damage bonus is your strength plus your size. If your strength plus your size is more than 124, you get a damage bonus.
Yeah.
So if your strength is 125, well, why don't we just do this? Julie, what's your strength plus your size?
My strength plus my size is 130.
130. Your damage bonus is plus 1d4. And your build is plus 1.
And what does that
So
mean?
build comes up if someone is trying to grapple you and they're a lot smaller than you, they will get a penalty die, that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Tiana, your strength plus your size.
My strength plus my size is 130.
130, that's a
Same
d4, damage plus damage bonus, and plus 1 build. Nick, what's your strength plus your size?
Not worth bringing up. I have no damage bonus.
Well, you might have a negative one.
Oh,
what?
Well, it's a 110.
All right, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
If you're lower than 85, you have a negative damage bonus.
Good to know.
But you really have to work to be less than 85. Thomas, what's your strength and your size?
90.
90. You have no damage bonus and a build of 0.
And you were very close.
And you have made Amy's night.
Like you have to work work really hard, and then Thomas is like, I got it. Got you covered.
I got this under control.
Amy, your strength and your size.
Hold my beer.
Education dump stat.
I'm a 120, so I'm a 60 and a 60.
You are at the none and 0. So no damage bonus and a build of 0.
I do have a question about those skill numbers. So I have put in the array.
Okay.
I didn't see any like firearms skills or anything like that.
Me too.
Well, so that'll come up soon. Well, you're going to have elective skills that you can do as well. Some people have firearms as part of their occupation. Some people don't. But you'll definitely have electives. All right, we did movement rate. We did damage bonus. Your magic points are 1/5 of your POW.
Ooh, that's a grumpy look on Amy's face.
I'm just watching Amy at this point.
Where's my abacus? Because I really need it right now.
What's your POW?
40.
40. So divide by is 8.
Yes.
Oopsie. I also mathed that wrong apparently the first time around.
Yeah. Oh, Amy, I'm gonna give you a little life hack.
Oh God.
You know how you've memorized multiplication?
Yep.
You can go backwards and divide.
Shh. I know that, but I didn't know the multiplication to begin with. So calm yourself.
Life
Oh, I love these guys.
I know.
multiplication.
It's always good having Thomas and Amy on the same show.
The abacus is coming. All I can
The abacus. That's our next episode title.
That's
the
what it's
abacus
called,
is
yes.
coming.
The abacus is coming. The abacus is coming.
The viper is coming.
All right, now credit rating. Credit rating is a thing in Cthulhu that sort of sets what your living conditions are like. If it's really low, you're destitute. If it's very high, you're doing pretty well. It is sort of it's a sort of factor of how much money you have, but it's also sort of what kind of resources you can attain if you need to. Credit rating is based on your occupation. We're going to start with Amy because she is a high roller. Amy, what is your occupation?
So I'm technically a dilettante. So
Yep.
Abraham
Feckless
Jr.
rich kid.
Yep. So yeah, that's really what I put. Occupation. I just put rich kid. Was like
Rich kid. I like it. All right. So your credit rating, you have a rating of 50 to 99. I'm going to put you on the higher end of that.
Oh, yes.
Because
so what I did is that, and I'm going to ask to do this, is
Sure.
that because my other character is my father. So Abe Froman Sr., the Sausage King of Chicago, is a self-made man. And he has a little issue with the fact that he's almost Vanderbilt money. So like his credit rating would be 90. Abe Froman Jr., who doesn't do anything for a living, his credit rating is probably going to be like a 70? Do you think that's reasonable for him?
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
I love
just-
that. Continue about that. And Amy's making a point. Once again, everybody is already making a backup character, or in some cases, a third backup character we've already had flying in there.
Yeah.
And which is always a good idea in Cthulhu. All right, so yeah, I think that's great. 70. Thomas, you are a journalist, right?
10.
Well, it's 9 to 30, or
Yeah,
10 to
so-
30 if I'm an author. I'm not an author.
All right, yeah. So are you out here like? Are you a stringer for a newspaper? Are you like sending stories back to a newspaper somewhere?
Definitely freelance stories, here and there.
You're
But
Jackson Elias.
well, yeah, I'm Jackson's last, but I know that there's something going on. I mean, it could be just a corrupt politician, or it could be a town council that are built with morons.
You
You're
need to
gonna
be
rip the lid off this story. But
Yeah.
until then, you're going to be destitute. So I'm going to say that your starting credit rating is going to be 15.
All right.
I got you, bro. I got you far.
You really need to make that story, or
All right.
Make friends with the
find
dilettante.
gold or something.
I need to change one of my. I'll get rid of history and take gambling instead.
And that's why you have a 19. You're not a good gambler. All right, Nick, you are a prospector, and
Yeah, that is I think
minor.
60, and I think from what we described before the show, a 5 would make perfect sense.
Yeah, you're you have a kind of binary between 5 and 60. You get money and then you immediately waste it,
Sure.
and on some sort of get rich quick kind of thing. So yeah, right now you have a 5 credit rating. You have you kind of have everything that you carry with you, and you don't have to worry about annoying things like a home
Or
food. Julie, you are a gunsmith.
Gun blacksmith, yes.
Yeah, so we'll call that a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Your
I'm from 10 to 70.
yeah, yours is from 10 to 70.
And I figured I've been doing this for a while. It's been good. I'm a little bit older.
Skill is the question.
Sorry.
What's your smithing skill?
80.
Then I think you'd do pretty well.
Yeah, I think we're gonna put you at 60.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll put you at
Are you
60.
now selling like specially smithed items like as your wares on the road now?
Well, I definitely need a revolver that says replica on the side.
Yes, the gunsmithing kind of thing. Yes, because gunsmith is one of those pulp talents.
That's right.
So.
Yeah. And Tiana, I'm looking at you as a lawman.
Yes, that's what I've been using as the base.
And a federale. So I'm gonna put you at a 60, but what that more represents is your ability to get resources from the feds when need be.
Cool. Good to know. Thank you. So I will always have a place to sleep. I will always have food if I need it. Maybe not much money in my pocket, but I want for nothing or little.
I mean, well, it depends on how wherever you are feels about the federal government.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. How many
and
badges do you carry?
How many what?
Badges.
Why?
I'm just curious. I mean, Abe just wants to know.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
It's attached to her all the time.
I mean, there is some weight to having that badge, though.
It's true.
You are there. There are certainly corrupt lawmen all over the place, and we'll see where that goes.
And also, too, I feel like Abe would also be at the bar, just being like, my friend the federale back here. You don't want to mess with her.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with her.
Like a bunch of shit.
I mean, she's a relatively tall redheaded woman with a gun. You don't piss her off anyway. The badge just makes it worse.
So now you have 4 non-occupation skills, and you're going to add 20 to whatever the base is on those 4 skills.
Oh, so I could actually ride a horse.
Well, ride starts off at 15 for this, so that's
yeah. So if you don't put any points in anything, you always have that base. So you've always got a puncher's chance to ride a horse.
Yeah,
So are we
I figured that's where we spend our inspiration each game.
For these 4 skills, which are not your occupation skills, you're adding 20 to whatever the base that is there is.
4 skills.
That's tough. I mean, firearms or ride. It's kind of integral.
Well, you've got at least 2 people in this group who can shoot.
Porque no le dos?
In when I was reading it, it said something about you have your skills, and then it says I could have 3 other skills as personal or era specialties. Is that the ones you're talking about, or these are 3 more?
So again,
4 more.
The full character creation roles versus the quick fire.
Yeah. No, I read this in there. I thought.
So, in the quick fire, your numbers were in step 7. Step 6 was your 8 occupation. Then step 7, pick 4 non-occupation skills and boost them by 20.
So are your occupation skills like smithing of some variety, Julie, that you specialize in?
Well, it said like accounting, art, crafts, blacksmith,
There
drive, mechanical repair, and persuade. And then, but when I was reading it, it said, because you get those occupation skill points, and then I can pick any 3 other skills as personal or era specialties. Those are still part of my occupation.
That's part of the 8.
Yes. So these are extra. Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
These are 4 skills. You can just do whatever force you can put. And, I'll even say if you want, You could even put the 20 in the same skill twice if you want to. You could take,
okay.
You could boost us. So you could do 3 skills and have one be boosted by 40.
Oh,
Sweet.
Difference between first aid and medicine.
So
I like all of those. So medicine and first aid in this game are different. First aid is, I'm going to help you right now survive to get you to the doctor, where the doctor will use medicine to make sure you don't die. First aid does very little for like malaria or dysentery. Medicine does more there. So first aid is super useful for healing hit points immediately, but for a lot of stuff, medical care and the medicine skill will be the thing that's necessary. Okay. Some other skills that are often not used that are very useful. Natural world is hugely useful for people who spend most of their time riding out on the plains.
It's at 60.
Similarly, navigate, also very useful when you're trying to tell where you are based on the stars.
70.
There you go.
I'm a driver, and his name is Nick.
Right. Yeah. My other character has those kind of skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any thoughts in your head of getting dynamite from somewhere, throw could be a very useful skill.
It's almost like you're watching the chat and noticing that they're talking about explosives.
Or run.
I mean, it's a minor.
Yeah. Animal handling, super useful in a world where horses are everywhere.
I eat whatever I can catch.
I was going to say,
including horses?
Is trap about like trapping horses, or is about making traps?
Trap is like getting food, like setting traps.
Okay, it is.
It's
It's like that.
That sort of thing.
Okay, it's not trapping.
I grabbed a little bit of that. I like the idea that it's only at 30, and he's basically living off whatever he catches, and sometimes he doesn't catch anything.
He's got the little box with the string and waiting for the rabbit to go in.
Do I even ask Thomas if he's gonna take skill in piloting a riverboat?
Oh, we should have a riverboat in this game. This should just be a riverboat game.
There will definitely be a riverboat in this game. I can guarantee 100%.
Wonderful.
Rope use, surprisingly useful if you want to tie people up.
I actually grabbed rope use partially for backstory purposes, just because it interested me.
Locksmith, very useful.
That's the one I was looking at right there.
All of the other favorites: listen, spot hidden. Psychology, surprisingly useful if you want to figure out why someone hates you.
Nah.
I know.
I have a 40 in that because that is a occupational skill for me. Hilariously.
Yeah. Psychology, very good. Some sort of social skill. Intimidate, if you're that kind of person.
Yeah.
Charm, persuade, fast talk. Those are all good.
I took 80 in charm.
I have
ladies, look out.
Wow.
Abe Froman's in town, ladies. Look out.
I have a 70 in fast talk.
I have a 60 in persuade, so we'll actually be fairly charismatic.
I have an 80 in fast talk. So yeah, I think we're covered.
Is, Tiana, is your character's version of persuade the opposite of Abe Froman's version of persuade?
Well, she's not out there flirting with everyone, so yes.
That's true. Yeah, I have persuade as well.
Are we good cop, bad cop here?
There's the carrot and then there's the stick.
Who has intimidate?
I was gonna have intimidate in mine, even though I'm not big in size. I got muscles.
And a hammer.
Survival is a surprisingly useful skill for people who sleep out under the stars.
Okay, so I actually put one of my 20s into survival to add on to it. There's a little line under it.
Yeah, you can specialize. So if you specialize, if you say you have like survival snow.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would have your full skill ability and you would be really good at surviving in the snow. And then you'd have a little bit less of that of kind of surviving anywhere else. Survival's like finding a good place to sleep, knowing how to make a fire, skinning things, all of the stuff you need to like live in, not in a city.
Are you supposed to specialize in it or?
No, you can totally be a generalist, but if you have, say, like again, if you have survival snow, that's a bonus die on everything you're doing in,
He's not going in the snow. Why would he do that?
Oh, you will be in the snow, I assure you.
Oh.
You're in Colorado for your very first adventure.
I was about to ask, I was actually literally about to ask where we are based. So we're in Colorado?
Well, that's where you are for the first adventure. Doesn't have to be where you're based. Honestly, you're going to be spending a lot of time riding around all over the place. So having a base might be a little more complicated. Let me see. What other skills are useful on here? Gambling could be pretty useful.
I was tempted.
We have our dilettante over there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a 50. I also took 60 in sleight of hand, so if my gambling skill kind of craps out on me.
Nice. So Abe's a cheater.
Thank you. Yes.
Abe's a cheater.
Yep. Well, that's the way we do it in Chicago.
I believe that.
He's got the he's got the ace tucked up his sleeve there.
There you go.
We talked about first aid, fighting brawl, very useful. Fighting knife, very useful.
I'm not building Alexandria again.
So again, do I need to think about, because they're not part of none of these skills from my occupation are fighting.
Right.
So
that would be the 20s. You'd need to put one of the 20s in there.
Gotcha.
And you start with a base 25 brawl, so you'd be at a 45. A knife, you start with a base of 20. And handgun and shotgun rifle are two different skills. So if you want to be good at both of them, you're going to need to use both of them. I can't find drunken sword fighting on here, unfortunately.
Don't worry about it. It'll happen.
We'll figure it out.
Are rifle and shotgun split up into two skills?
No, rifle, shotgun are the same skill. It's firearm, handgun, firearm, rifle, shotgun. Track is a very useful skill.
I have track. I have 40 in that.
Good.
I have 30, but
speaking a different language, Spanish is very useful in the Southwest. Actually, in most of the country, and some, if you're depending on where you're traveling, a little French or a little Russian are also never a bad thing. If you're going into the Northwest, Russian is useful.
Depends on how far northwest you're going, but yeah.
More useful skills than there are
I didn't
points.
think about that.
Of course, that's always the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah. But now remember, you're always going to have that base. And, we're also going to, when we get into session 0, you're going to get skill checks and some things. And so you can use those skill checks to, maybe try out a skill that you were worried about, that sort of thing.
And skill checks are the same regardless of if it's pulp or non-pulp.
That's right. Yeah, skill checks are still, you want to fail the roll, and if you fail the roll, you add a D10 to that skill. And if
how do you figure out when skill checks are? Because compared to D&D,
so
when does it happen usually in Cthulhu?
Right. So when you make a skill, you put a little check next to the box, and then at the end of a chapter, which is a very kind of variable thing, for us, it'll probably be, at the end of each scenario, you roll all your skill checks. And so you erase all the check marks and you roll the dice for those skills, and then you increase skills. That's the character advancement aspect of the game. Everybody got your skills down?
I don't know. Did anybody want to talk about anything that they thought?
Yeah. Is there any skill that you think you're not that you might want to make sure somebody's covering?
Yeah. Who took the cult? And who has Cthulhu mythos to start off with?
Yeah. No.
Nope.
Everything's fine.
No, I mean, because I took more dodge because I figured, that would be something that I could do. Intimidate, I'm pretty, because I'm pretty dexterous and strong. And I took locksmithing and I took survival because I was going out on stagecoach rides and things like that for a while. So, but in regular, I have blacksmithing is what I'm doing and repairing things. That's my big deal. I do have a little bit. I have some persuade 60. I can be. But I was wondering if I needed any charming, if I needed to move anything out of there. And do you think I need to be more charming?
I'm your face character. Let's not get confused that I'm not a grizzly. I'm a 25-year-old Harvard-educated dilettante.
Oh God, I want to punch you already.
You are a gorgeous, non-sun beaten boy.
Yeah, I was about to say, if my carrot doesn't work, Tiana's stick will.
Cool. No, I
just let that one go.
Yeah. So, I do also have some drive, so I can help drive the wagon because I learned how to do that kind of stuff. And firearms, I have rifle.
That's
I'm
my
a
question,
rifle
is that
person.
I basically am not like, I don't ride a horse, I don't shoot a gun. These are skills that I don't have, and I'm in the Old West. So if I can't talk my way out of this shit, who am I hiding behind is my question. Who's got firearm?
I have firearm.
I think everyone else kind of.
Yeah, well, I'm shotgun. I can use a shotgun, but stand behind me.
Yeah, I'm kind of an all-around fighter character because I have 50 in brawl, 40 in handgun, and 60 in the rifle shotgun. So
Nice.
I'm kind of an all-rounder.
Nice.
Lucifer Vilchak in chat asked if anyone can actually start with Cthulhu Mythos, and you can if you there are two ways that you can start with Cthulhu Mythos. One of which is if the GM and the character decide that it makes sense for the character. The second is pulp talents, which we'll get to in a minute, that can give you some of that. So we are playing pulp, and that means one of the ways that we've seen that is everybody got double the hit points. Another way that we saw that is there's no age stuff because you're all basically superheroes. The third way that we're going to see it is in pulp talents. Pulp talents, I think Thomas might have a little table here he can pop up, but pulp talents, no, all right. Pulp talents are special abilities that the characters get that they can pick. And there's a table of them that they can choose from.
Page 30.
There's physical talents, mental talents, combat talents, and then miscellaneous talents. And you can calibrate sort of how pulp you want things to be by how many talents you give the players. The baseline sort of average is 2. And so I'm going to give you each 2 pulp talents. As an example of a pulp talent, you can get quick healer. Natural healing is 3 hit points per day. So normally, if you rest, you get 1 hit point per day. But if you're a quick healer, you get 3. One of my favorites is tough. You can soak up damage. You can spend 10 luck points to shrug off up to 5 hit points worth of damage. So you can spend luck as luck is ablative armor. Combat talents that are super useful. Beady eye, where you don't get a penalty die when you aim at somebody who's super small, and you don't get a penalty die firing into melee. Super useful.
I can't imagine when that would ever come up.
Quick draw is very useful. You never have to ready your weapon, and your initiative is always plus 50 to your dex in combat, which is super useful. Rapid attack, you can use 10 luck to get an extra melee attack right away. Also very useful. Miscellaneous ones that I love Master of Disguise. Like if I were making a character here, I would totally make like the Artemis character from Wild Wild West, the TV show, who shows up in every episode in a different outfit and is you never know what he's going to look like and that sort of thing. I'm a sucker for that particular part of play.
Elias has taken disguise, and I was looking at Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise is awesome. I'm a big fan. Basically, you spend 10 luck and you get a bonus die on any disguise check that you make. You also can throw your voice, so you can use ventriloquism and that sort of thing.
Can you answer the question about? I mean, because spending luck in Cthulhu is terrible because you run out of it. So in this, I see there's a luck recovery roll.
Right. So in Pulp Cthulhu, you gain at the end of chapters and things like that. You gain luck as well as sanity. So if you every scenario basically says if you do this, everybody gets 10 luck. If you do this, everybody gets 20 luck. And there are various ways to recover luck as the game goes on, and slightly fewer ways to recover sanity.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah.
I also am a big fan, if I can also point out a couple. Resilient is super useful. It's a mental talent. May spend luck points to shrug off sanity loss 1 for 1.
Ooh.
That was one of the ones I was looking at.
What's good sanity? And are we like a 1 to? Are we on a 1 to 100 scale here?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
I'm also, depending on how awful you are, hardened can be very useful. Where, it gets rid of sanity loss for things like seeing a dead body or making a dead body or that sort of thing. Animal empathy can be very useful. Excellent weapon. You have like a really good weapon to start with. It's got extra range or and is super fancy. If we want to go weird science, you could have a gadget of some sort.
Lucifer Vilchek wants to know if there's a dueling talent.
So that would be, you could get fight. That would be a fight sword. You could get, fight épée or foil, that sort of thing.
Or
Dueling pistols at dawn.
pistols, yeah.
Oh, dueling. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, there is actually. So a couple of new mechanics for gunfighting. There is indeed a duel, draw, see who hits, that sort of thing. There's also a mechanic for I think it's called. Instead of thinking about what it's called, I'll look it up. But it essentially, it's that scene you saw in every Western movie where you hold the trigger down and just click the lock, and so you can fire
fanning.
bullets. Fanning. And so there are rules for that if you want to do that. Essentially, every shot gets worse and worse as you do it. But it is entirely an appropriate move. Hey, look, table 2, alcohol consumption.
We should actually just put
what
that
page?
up behind us.
What page for what?
Alcohol consumption?
So
Page 11?
no, if you're looking for the fanning rules and stuff, it's in page 45.
No,
The physical talents are on page 30.
Yeah.
the alcohol.
All the talents.
And we get 2 of them, right?
Yes.
You get 2 of them. So
Tigeron had a question earlier about tracking ammo.
Great question. I personally would forget constantly, and I don't want to make little hash marks, and I also don't want to give you the accounting. So here's how it's going to work. If you fire a gun more than 1 round in any combat, after you fire that gun the 3rd time, you're going to start making luck rolls. And if you miss a luck roll, your gun is out of ammo.
Can we just track the ammo?
If you'd rather.
Or can we use a turn to reload?
Yes, you can always reload. Yeah, you can. That is a full turn action, unless you have. I think there's a quick reload.
Yeah, fast load.
There's a fast load. Yeah.
Fast load.
But the other thing that my gunsmith gives me that I can clear firearm malfunctions and jams and things like that.
That is handy.
So.
Yes.
That's
Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my second pulp talent. So my first one is gunsmith because
right.
I just, I get bonus dies when repairing or making firearms. What the hell?
Super useful.
What's your other thing? Are you a brawler? Because there's heavy hitter.
Heavy hitter is great if you want to just knock people out.
Yeah.
Not to say that there are going to be a number of bar fights, but I've seen the way you people work.
Yeah, I did not take a lot of points in brawl.
We all have talking skills this time.
It's
We
true.
might actually.
It's
be
true.
less
I'd love
aware.
to see that.
I actually have psychology on this character.
I'm still trying to figure out. I'm having a hard time whether I should be like strong-willed or tough, or resilient. That I'm kind of going back and forth and back and forth. Anybody have any?
Alert is also awesome. You are never surprised.
Do what I'm doing. Ezra's gonna
Ooh.
decide what mine are.
Oh yeah.
Alert, never surprised in combat.
Can you tell me what the diving for cover action is?
Yeah. So diving for cover is someone is shooting at you, and as your turn, you decide I'm going to dive for cover, and so they get a penalty die on every shot they take. And you basically spend your turn giving them that penalty die.
Where is this alcohol chart?
Yeah, hang on.
The alcohol chart is on page 51.
Thank you so much.
Nimble
I am
said-
losing
Here's
my
a sentence for you. Many Westerners were convinced of the healing powers of alcohol.
Does body
mind.
good.
No, they knew of the
They
we
do.
have that knowledge, and we need to regain it.
It is ancient knowledge that we need to regain from our ancestors.
15 shots. Holy cow.
I mean, root beer was medicine, and it was
Mm.
made out of a lot of poison.
Yeah.
And
But
Coca-Cola.
yeah, there
Oh.
were alcoholic components to it.
So Tiana, what talents did you take?
I grabbed night vision. In darkness, reduce the difficulty level of spot hidden rolls and ignore penalty die for shooting in the dark.
Nice.
And then I did a fast load on handgun. Can load and fire a gun in the same round.
Perfect. That's great. Amy, do you have yours?
I was thinking about smooth talker and heavy hitter.
Nice. So Abe has to knock somebody out every now and then.
Abe
Yes,
just has a wicked right cross.
Yep.
I think those are both excellent. Smooth talker is an underrated. Julie, what are you thinking? You have gunsmith, and then
I'm really thinking about tough. I'm really thinking about I could just shrug off when people.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing that. Huh?
A grapple gun.
Oh, totally.
Do the
I'm making a gun. See, that's I'm gonna be gunsmithing. Don't worry. We'll talk about it. It'll be great.
You can get that gadget and have some sort of weird grapple gun that somehow doesn't break your shoulder every time it yanks you up.
Ha. Yes, I too have seen that game theory video.
But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So what do you think? Is that good?
Yeah.
Tough. I'll be tough, and that way,
Be the front line
you guys don't have to worry about me. Is hammer a weapon? Like we had crowbar being a weapon before.
100%. You could totally have a hammer as a vicious weapon that nobody really wants to get hit with.
Ooh, and also too, don't blacksmiths have like blacksmith tongs?
Yes, I don't like where this is going, but yeah,
I do.
Hammer and tongs.
The intimidation skill. You get those nice and hot. And,
Exactly. That's part of it. Hammer and tongs, man. Hammer and tongs.
I would put your tomahawk. I would put your let's call it a large club.
Yeah.
It uses fighting brawl.
Okay.
And it's 1d8 plus your damage bonus. And here's a bonus. It cannot malfunction.
Hey.
You can still fumble with it, but it's not gonna, if you fumble with it, you're not gonna like throw it away or break it or anything like that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to work on my brawling. I think it's more of a headspace thing than a strength thing.
So how does malfunctioning weapons work? So like
that's when you get that jam. So like if you're firing, and so guns will have a malfunction rate. So for instance, if I look at a Smith & Wesson Model 1, it malfunctions on a 99 or 100.
Okay, got it.
And so different guns have different money. And also, if you find a crappy gun, like if you find a gun that hasn't been well taken care of, first of all, Julie's character will be very disappointed. And second of all, it can have a higher malfunction rate.
And so then is the gun, once it jams, like, or is a malfunction like a jam where you have to spend rounds clearing it? Or is it just like, this is crap and you have to throw it?
So until you have somebody who can fix Julie could, like, her character could like fix it in the middle of combat.
Yes.
Otherwise you'd need to, like, the next time you stop, you'd need to get out and clean it and fix all of that up.
Right. So that's one of the reasons why I took gunsmith, because that way I can clear jams and do all that stuff.
We had a question about the weapons table and so here's where I once again admit that I know nothing about guns, and I'm very happy knowing nothing about guns. So I don't actually know what is a single action and a double action revolver, but there are a number of revolvers listed here. There's a 45 Smith & Wesson, a 32 Smith & Wesson Model 2, Colt Navy, Colt Police, Colt Army, all these different kinds of guns that have different stats. Then there's a bunch of rifles and a bunch of what they call holdout weapons that are the Derringer and that sort of thing. And then there's a lot of melee weapons as well. Anybody who wants a knife, if you've got a Bowie knife is 1d4 plus 2 plus your damage bonus.
1d4
plus 2 plus your damage bonus. So just plus 2 for you.
Yep.
I mean, that'd just be more for survival stuff, I think.
I mean,
Yeah, which could be
A knife is a knife, man.
Yeah, a knife is never a bad thing to have.
It's true, especially when you're out in the wilds. Do we want to talk about getting equipment?
Equipment, I'm not so worried about. You guys will have, unless you're asking for something crazy.
I'm mostly looking at that, like the common weapons,
right?
Ones the C's next to them.
Anything that's a C, you can get no problem. Anything that's a common weapon, you can get no problem. If it's a U or better, it's going to take a credit rating roll.
Okay.
To get it. Yes, there is an elephant gun. There's also a Gatling gun. If that's going to be hard to find.
Yes, there is dynamite.
I enjoy that they don't have, Molotov cocktails were not invented yet, so they just call it incendiary device.
Oh, elegant.
Thomas, what did you end up taking for talents?
Master of Disguise.
I love it.
Okay, Fletch.
And yes, exactly.
What can you say about a player like Fletch? 5'10", 6'8" with the afro. Oh, love that movie.
And BDI, shooting in the melee without.
I like it. Yeah. All right. And Nick, you and I will talk about yours at another moment. Nick, as always,
or you cannot tell me.
You'll learn as you go what they are.
Oh, jeez.
Boy. Because Nick always comes in with great character concepts.
And so that is pretty much character creation. Again, you can assume that if you have a lot. One thing in this world, like, people didn't have the trunk of their car, so the saddlebags of your horse have most of what your stuff is that is with you. For some of you, all of your stuff. Period. I imagine like Elias has a house in St. Louis or something where he has a bunch of stuff, but he only has what he has with him, on the trail. Same for Abe. And if you could go back to Chicago and get stuff, or, probably wire and ask for some stuff to be sent. But for the most part, what you have on your person is kind of what you have. And so, most people have a change or two of clothes, and, bed stuff and cooking stuff, and, a rifle slung along there or something like that. And it was a much more nomadic time, and you all will be part of that sort of, you're going to be riding around various places. There's going to be a lot of traveling through where. So what I want to do now is take a very short break, and then we'll sort of come back for the second part, which is session 0, where we'll easy for me to say, where we'll set up the character connections, and we'll talk a little bit about the table we're going to run and that sort of thing.
Right.
So we'll be back as soon as we're back to 6 people. We'll be back as soon as 6 people can use 5 bathrooms. The math got trickier. Where's that abacus?
All right, we'll be right back.